Hey everyone, let's get into it. Today we're going to talk about the important topic of breaking or knowing what a trauma bond is. A trauma bond can form when you're emotionally attached to someone, and it's a cycle of intense highs and lows. This connection isn't love, it's a survival response. It's your mind and body trying to make sense of an inconsistent behavior. It ain't the same day by day. Moments of kindness are followed by other emotions that may dampen your mood at the time or for an extended amount of time. And I want to get into it even deeper of how you can prevent that or break the trauma bond that you may currently be in. In order to analyze these things in your life, I'm going to take off my glasses, y'all, one moment. You have to ask yourself, is this draining me? Is this taking my energy, my happiness away from my day? Is this allowing me to be productive, or is this making me feel as if I should be in a shell? Oftentimes, most people are not as aware of a trauma bond because it is a consistent thing of highs and lows. And sometimes it will have you second guessing your authenticity and your reality. What I've noticed is that it can also lead to inconsistency and like a lukewarm to hot sort of vibe. You know, you're probably walking on eggshells. You probably are trying to rationalize things that you know don't make sense. But all of this is connected to that soul tie trauma bond that you may have with that person. One thing that I've seen most people do in these situations is very similar to journaling, or if you have a diary or a keepsake that you keep your day-to-day emotions in. Oftentimes people will recommend that journaling is a big help for this because you can literally write down events, you know, and see the wavelength of it and see how it is inconsistent, and you can notice the things that trigger these events and how to get out of those situations. More than times out of 10, you know, oftentimes you will lose your sense of identity. It's like you're happy, this person is cool, and then next thing you know, it's a World War II. It's inconsistent. It doesn't make you feel like you're valued. It doesn't make you feel whole because it's like you're getting a piece of the pie instead of all the pie. And this is when most people start to develop like the emotion of, hey, this ain't right. Like every time I turn around, it's something negative, or every time I turn around, it's something happening, or every time this goes down, this person reneges or does this. And it causes you to feel insecure or even unsecure in that situation. Most people are confused because in this process, it may even involve gaslighting. It could be a shady comment that's made that the person may feel is humorous, but you're like, hold on, that's personal to me. Or even later in the day or in that moment, you'll think to yourself, like, hey, I can't believe this person said this to me and I didn't trip off of it then. You know, sometimes you'll replay what people say in your head at a later time, and then it's like you realize in that moment, like, this is emotionally abusive, you know. Together it is in love. That person doesn't love you. It's the attraction and the attachment of that person having you in a loophole. It's an inconsistency with behavior. It's when you don't know if you should speak or not. Sometimes, you know, when you're around people who have put you in a trauma bind, you don't know if you should say hello or say goodbye. It's an ongoing unassurance of your emotions and how you're going to approach things. It gives you a clouded judgment. You feel butterflies in your stomach. You feel uneasy. Sometimes even your appetite will be ruined, or your mind will be in a haze because this person then threw you off emotionally within your soul. And here it is, you're trying to get back up and, you know, walk in this faith, but this person is steady jabbing. But that's when you have to know when it's time to break that trauma bind. Do things that make you happy. Do things that satisfy you. Implement your loved ones or your support system around you daily or as often as you can. You know, even if you have to do the affirmations that we were speaking about in the last video, you know, it's hard. And I'm not going to say it's easy to do this process when you got tears running down your face. But you have to understand what the trauma bond is, whether it's years, time, kids, businesses, monetization things that are, you know, going with you all. You have to understand that just because money is there, or just because you have a title, or just because you're head of household, that doesn't mean that a person is not going to try to put you in this realm of emotion. It's unsafe. It's unsecure. You have to develop a plan first. Realize what it is that is breaking you from this cycle. realize what can get you out of this cycle, and realize and take heed to what, resources are available. But first, I feel like you have to analyze to understand. Journal the things down as I just mentioned. you know, be a little distant in a sense of getting yourself together. Those idle times that you would be hanging around that person that's creating this bond for you, do something for yourself. Walk the dog, take the kids to the park, go and get a little bit of ice cream, have your favorite drink. It's nothing wrong with implementing these healthy styles, because you have to break it, because what happens is like it becomes a snowball effect. You get one step further, and then next thing you know, the snowball is all the way down the end of the road, and you're looking back saying, hey, if I would have stopped or got myself out of that situation then, this would be more fruitful for me now. And it's not easy, and that's why I'm stressing the fact that you have to have a plan. Even if life is going good and no one is attacking your spirit right now, you have to have a plan. You have to know respectfully, if anything happened, medical, death, anything, that you can support yourself. But most importantly, you have to have your emotions together. And you cannot break a trauma bond if you're consistently in that space that's giving you negligence. You don't deserve to be neglected. You deserve to be treated correctly. You deserve to have your emotions and your high lows praised by person. It's not about a race. It's about being treated right. The money ain't gonna make you happy. The looks on the face ain't gonna make you happy. The faking ain't gonna be real. So that's what a trauma bond is. I hope I gave you all a good gist of it and a few steps to recover or get out of that trauma bond. Plan, execute, and as always, be blessed.